Might not be the break. Let's see as we go into the session. But the overview of advanced roadmaps, the creation of a roadmap, and the different views which we have, teams, sprints, and the dependencies views. Once we start creating the roadmap, you will get some more idea about it and how we can edit and review the issues. The dependency report. These are all the different views and editing the issues and reviewing the issues and the dependencies report. Once we start exploring around it, you will get more clarity and how it is really beneficial from the advanced roadmap perspective. And Q&A need not wait until end of the session. Feel free to ask any question in between itself, but don't take too much of time to get any questions clarified or anything. If in case it is taking more time, we will maybe we can have a separate discussion or maybe outside discussion to get it done. And we are using a free version of Jira Cloud, so not all functionalities might be available. We haven't did any customizations or any add-ins plugins. It is a pure vanilla version of Jira, and no real-time data, no real-time projects, no information. Everything is dummy data, and all the sprints or the projects or the epics created is all just our discussion perspective. Don't look for the data, just look for the content or the the intent behind the discussion. That's it. And I'm not a trainer. I'm also exploring and I am also learning day in, day out. And I'm not expert in Jira. So you might be having some more information. Feel free to share that. This just cover overview of advanced roadmaps. We have a lot of things, a lot of steps. Once we start exploring, we have a lot of things to do. Let's try to see we can schedule another session as we do. And any additional queries or topics beyond this, we can discuss outside the session any point of time. Okay, yes. With that, let's get started with the actual, what do you say, the roadmap. So I created, so right now you're able to see the Jira screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So we created 3 projects and 3 different boards and a few epics and issues under epics. So as we all know, right now I'm in the profile management project. Under that, we have one board, BPM board. That is a project and the board right now we are looking at. And I'm in a timeline view. Earlier, if you might remember, it is used to be called as a roadmap. And this is how the releases and the sprints used to be displayed. We are talking about one single project right now, right? So this is a epics. We have 5 epics and few issues created under epic, and the sprints are also created. But right now, nothing is mapped to any of the sprints. Right now, everything is in the backlog. Nothing is done. The same way we created few more issues, few more epics for the other projects as well, like account management, rewards management, profile management. These are like taking a banking project as an example, just to create some dummy projects and dummy epics issues and everything. Now, if we all know that these profile, account, and rewards management might be having dependencies among themselves, or might have to work together, might have to coordinate among themselves to do their release planning or to do their, at times, maybe even the sprint planning as well, because the coordination is required or the dependencies might be coming up across the teams or across the epics or across the issues as the teams start working. So that is where now, if in case we are talking about one single project or one single board, this is the view we are getting. So how will I get to know what the account management team is planning for, or how will I get to know what the rewards management team is or that project is planning for? Let's suppose I'm a scrum master, or I'm a manager, or I'm a product owner, I'm a team member of this profile management team. I have access, I'm accessing only it. And at times, I might be having access to the other projects. I have to go there and take a look at it. Again, I need to come back to my project and everything. So that's where the advanced roadmap is one such additional option or alternative, or maybe add-on to help bring multiple teams, multiple boards together into one single view. That's how the advanced roadmaps within Jira within Atlassian is providing an option or maybe a flexibility. It is like a visualization tool for helping with the dependency planning or the release planning or even for the sprint planning as well. We will get to know once we start looking at. So now, are you good till now? Just context setting.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Yes, fine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, as you can see on the top, we have one additional option called as plans. So if in case you're not part of enterprise or premium subscription, you might not be having this plans option. Or even if you're on enterprise or premium subscription, your organization Jira admin might have deactivated these plans. So if that is the case, you might not be having access. Just check once on that to get the access activated. So I'm just expanding the plans menu. I'm not exploring the other menu like projects, filter, dashboards. No, our focus today is only on the plans, which is what the advanced roadmaps, which we are about to discuss now. Okay. So I just created one dummy a test roadmap before our discussion. I will show that as well. But if in case we have to start from scratch, we have option of creating a plan. So I'm clicking on create a plan. This is how the view comes, how to create a plan. We can give a plan name. I'm just giving a advanced roadmaps demo and access. The plan name is up to us. We can give any name, whatever it is convenient, comfortable for us. The access, we have two options, private versus open. When you say private, it can be only who created the plan, obviously whoever is creating it, plus whoever is the individual users or the groups whom we share the access. Only they will be having the access or they will be having a view. But open, whoever is having access to the advanced roadmaps, they can search, they can view, they will be able to view or they can even edit the plan. So if in case you don't want others to view and edit your advanced roadmaps, you can restrict it. You can make it as a private. For now, I'm keeping it as open. So that's the access. We have two views, open and restricted or open and private. And now the next thing is issue sources. We have three different issue sources: board, project, and filter. We all know, like, we might be creating some filters by clubbing 2-3 different projects. Typically, I observe like program managers or project managers or even scrum masters who have multiple teams who they need to work with. They create filters with multiple projects together. So we have option to choose any of it: board, project, and filter. From my personal opinion, from my personal perspective, I prefer or I recommend using the board. The reason, if in case we want to use this advanced roadmap for sprint capacity management or sprint planning, in such case, we need to use board. If you use project or filter, we won't get that sprint view or the sprint access within the advanced roadmaps. So if in case we want to use the sprint view, we will take a look at once we create the project or the roadmap, we will take a look at it, how it comes up. Okay. So I'm choosing the board as a issue source. And here we have all the boards which we have access. I'm creating the board. I'm choosing the board. We can choose multiple boards. That's the intention of the roadmap, right? I'm creating all the three boards which I created. And team, we will discuss once we go into the roadmap. We will discuss. Right now, it is optional. We can do it later as well. And team also has a role to play whenever it is required for the sprint capacity management or sprint planning perspective, right? So we will discuss about a team once we go into the plan. This is how we can choose the board, and we can club. Like now we can add a filter, we can add project as well. We can do that, but prefer not to do it. If required, you can create another roadmap and do it, but within one single roadmap, try to choose one type of issue sources, like all boards together, all projects together, so that it will be easy for you to do the access and do the any edits or updates. Good till now? The access and issue sources.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are good.
Okay, so now the exclusion rules. if in case we want to exclude any specific type of issues, let me quickly click on it. We can exclude any completed issues after 30 days, or we can exclude any type of issues, or we can exclude a status, or we can exclude releases, completed releases, or anything. So it is up to us. We can exclude whatever we want. And right now the issues in the plan is 80 issues. As we start excluding, these issues number will get changed. Right now I don't want to exclude anything, so I'm skipping this. But if in case you want to, we can do that, right? And in the real-time projects, we might want to exclude completed releases. We don't want to take a look at it. Or we might want to exclude some, maybe the block status, or we might want to exclude the I mean, just giving some example, right? Or we might want to exclude the bugs, or maybe the spikes, or something, if any issue types which we create, or maybe the tasks. So if as required, we can exclude, and we have that flexibility, that option as well. Okay, right now I'm not excluding anything. I'm just choosing 3 boards where I have the backlog, and I'm choosing the access is open. I have given the plan name. I'm just simply clicking on create. Team we will create, or we will access once we create the board or create the advanced roadmap. Now we are on the as you can see, the plans menu is highlighted, and we are in the advanced roadmap demo. This is the name which we gave, and we are in the time. We have different views. Right now we are in the timeline view. What is a timeline view? As you can see, the months, we can choose again months, quarters, years, weeks, or we can even choose custom timeline. So that is how it is showing on the top. That is why it is called as a timeline view. And all these are the epics. As we expand epics, we can choose, we take a look at all the views. I mean, all the issues or the user stories which are created under the epic. And if we require, we can expand it. And these are the default fields coming up, like start date, due date, and status. We have option to change. We can manage the custom fields. We can add additional fields within this view itself. Like we want assignee, yes, we can add, or we want a label, or we want a component, we want a release, or we want a priority, anything required, or we want a story point, we want a sprint, we want a team, anything. It is up to us what field we want to add to our view. We can do that, and we can take a look at it, right? So that is the timeline view. And what if we want to take a look at not epic level, but the story level? Yes. Come here in the filters and choose a story. Now epics are gone. We will be just taking a look at direct stories. No more epics, direct. We are like taking a look at the all the stories within the 3 boards which I have chosen for. So it is up to us, the hierarchy, epic, story, subtask, or what, from to what level, right? So epic to story or epic to subtask, it is up to us how we want to take a look at the view or the issues. And here as well, we have the exclusion options. We can exclude like all the teams, the sprints, the projects, anything we can change. And any of these we can add as a filter, and we can filter the issues from our view, from displaying in the screen for us. Okay, good till now?
Yeah, can you select the epic to subtask? And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can,
that,
but only
yeah.
thing is, like right now we don't have any subtask.
Oh,
If in
okay.
case we have the subtask, then we can take a look at it, right? So right now we have
Yeah.
only the epic and stories. If in case we have a subtask, yes, we can do it. Yeah, see here we have a subtask. Now I can just create test subtask.
I just want to see the view, how it looks like.
Yeah, see the hierarchy. It is showcasing the hierarchy.
Thank you.
Right, so that is so, like we can create the issues as well. As you can see, we have the create issue option here. So right now we are having a source of issues coming from 3 different boards. We can create issue, and we can choose whether you want to create epic or story, and we can choose which board it should go as well. Okay, good till now. So it is coming
Yes.
as a hierarchy, epic, story, and subtask. And yes, we can delete, we can add, we can create, and we can do all possible things within this. So here, to add on, why the start date and end date, or the start date and due date is coming up. If in case some issues or some projects or some various reasons, maybe the complaints issues or the timelines or the deadlines, the commitments we have given to the customers or stakeholders, we might be defining some dates, either the start date or due date. Sometimes you might say, hey, we can't work on a create new credit card until the start of October, for example. I'm just giving an example. Or we can say that, hey, we need to complete creating a new wealth management before maybe October 15th. So then we might be choosing a due date, right? So that is how, if in case any specific start dates or due dates are defined, we can take a look at these here. If not, we can minimize this and we can collapse the fields so that like they won't even come, or we can hide those fields. That way we are good with those fields, or we can add additional fields and we can swap the fields. Whatever is required from our side, we can take a look at it. Good.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's go to here. As you can see, the basic. I mean, before going into the left side views, we are taking a look at the views within the timeline view. The basic right now, the default view is coming as basic. I'm going into the sprint capacity management. The moment we navigated to sprint capacity management, no matching issues form. Why? We created the issues, but we haven't mapped any of the issues into any of the sprint. Everything is in the backlog. That's why the filter is coming as a sprints. I will just, for the timing, I will come and I will select no sprint. That's when we can see all the issues under unassigned, right? And everything is showing in the unassigned. As we start assigning the stories to the sprint, we can do it here itself within the advanced roadmap. No need to go back to your backlog and do that. We can do it here itself. We will do that as well in a few minutes. But I'm just saying that we can do that, assigning or updating the issues or issues to the sprints, or even to the story point assignments within the advanced roadmap itself. And we can assign to the team, we can assign to the release, everything we can do if in case we have anything created or anything defined. So why we are doing it here? Because let's suppose all of us are product owners. We are discussing about our dependencies before going over for sprint planning. Then we might say, hey, we have a dependency. For creating a new account, I need the customer ID. Can the login team, can you pass on that customer ID to us? Can you complete it by sprint 1 so that our team can start working on sprint 2? So like that, let's suppose the product owners or maybe the release managers, the different roles within the organization, right? So what if they are discussing about their dependencies, and by taking that as a base, they want to assign or map the stories into the sprint. That's how they are doing it. They might be doing it using this advanced roadmap view. They have all the issues here itself, right? So they can take a look at it, which sprint, which team might have to work, or which release these issues might go. Everything we can do the discussion within by using this screen, and we can do the mapping or updates to the issues within the advanced roadmap.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
Yeah, can you said right dependency. Can we add dependency team here itself?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We will discuss on that. We can add the dependencies as well, and we can take a look at the dependencies report as well. Not just adding the dependency. We will discuss on the dependencies
And
part.
risks. Can
Risk,
we add risks?
Risk not here directly.
Okay.
I mean, when you say risk, what does that mean? What do you mean by?
Yeah, differently. Because is there any low capacity we have, then additional support we require, or
Huh.
any dependent art level risk we have, anything else.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
have a
Mm-hmm.
dependency, not in a dependency, we require some support from the architectural levels or somewhere else. Then
Mm-hmm.
in that case,
Mm-hmm.
we need to raise the risk, right? Then can
Huh.
we raise the risk here itself without
Um,
using any other tool?
Might not be, might not be. So for such case, what we typically do is like we will share this view and we will copy this link and we will add it to the Confluence page.
Okay.
Where in the Confluence page we will add the risk table or risk board, and
Mhm.
this plan will be accessible within the Confluence page plus the
Yeah,
other risk and any approvals or anything from the
got it.
release train or release plan perspective.
And directly we have an option to share to
Yes.
the Confluence
Yeah, we
page.
can
Okay.
share it. And only
Yeah.
thing is like they can, if
View.
in case they can they can view it. But if they want to do any updates, they have to come to this roadmap.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And that is about the sprint capacity management. And once we start assigning the issues to the sprint, we will take a look at the sprint capacity management, and we need to create the teams as well. We will just do it right now. And the top level planning.
Yeah, sorry to cut you. Yeah,
Yes.
sprint capacity management related to the how much of capacity the team does have. Can
Yes.
we pull those capacity here itself?
Yes, we can do that. We
Okay,
can do that. We will. I will
okay,
show that. I will show that.
okay. Thank
So
you.
once we need to create the teams for that. Once we create the teams, we will start taking a look at that information.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the top level planning, as you can see, the board or the project came up. The profile management, rewards management, and the other accounts management, all the like the board level or the project level came up in the top level planning. This is nothing but the timeline view within that specific project, but it is coming up separately just to showcase or just to give a view. And the dependency management, right now we don't have any dependencies. Again, that's the reason no matching issues found. We will create some dependencies as well, so that we will see how the dependencies are coming up here, plus how we can take a look at in the dependencies report as well. Okay, are you good with the 4 views?
Yeah.
Okay, and we can create our own view as well with our own fields, our own columns, our own customization, and it is up to us. But right now we are just using the 4 basic available views within the roadmap. Good, shall we go ahead?
Venkat, one question on the hierarchy.
Yes, Vignesh.
We do have a couple of more issue types like features, initiatives, and all.
Yes. Yes.
Hope it will be available, right? Whatever issue types available in our project should reflect in the roadmap, or we need to
Yes.
explicitly add it.
We need to explicitly add it. Let
Yeah.
me see in the plan settings. We need to add it. Not the custom fields. Just a minute. Plan info is the default thing. Just a minute. We have a hierarchy for this as well. Let me just see where it is coming up. Looks like I need to check on it. We will check on it
Sure,
once. Yeah,
sure, Venkat.
but
You can
yeah,
take this.
we have a way to customize the issue types as well.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Sir, one more question. So using
Yes.
this advanced roadmaps, so can we also do PI planning here?
We can with 2 or 3 small gaps.
Okay.
We
Okay.
can't define the objectives and the business values for that, and the risk we just now discussed. We can't do the risk directly, and the other tools for PI planning like Candice, IOPA, PAPlanning.io, or Jira
Yeah.
Align, they
Mm.
have the facility or flexibility to create the burn down charts or the different views
Mm-hmm.
for the objective level and the progress. That is not available in this advanced roadmap.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yes, we
Feature level
can do
also,
that for the PA planning. We can do that.
Okay.
Feature level also we haven't, right, here?
Yeah, feature is Epic, right? Epic is
Yeah.
a Jira
Canvas.
Cloud. Epic is
Yeah,
the feature.
Epic is the canvas feature, feature
Yes.
canvas.
Yes. Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank
Now,
you.
let's move on to the teams. So right now it is saying no teams added yet. Yes. So let's add a team. We can add existing team from the organization if in case we have any teams which are already created in the organization perspective. I created these teams before in the previous roadmap, so that's why it is showing up. So for these 3 projects, I created 3 teams. I'm selecting the team and adding it here and configure. And this is where when you say the team, what is the planning style of the team, whether it is Scrum or Kanban, what's the sprint length, what's the capacity, the typical capacity, like the sprint capacity, right? So this is like fix it for this. For now, we are just giving as a initial thing, but every sprint we can override, we can update. This is anytime we can come back and update it here, but this is like a default initial setting, we are setting it. So for
Here,
BAM team,
capacity points means the team capacity itself, right? How much
yes,
capacity does team have?
yes.
Okay.
This is like a initial setting, we are setting it for
Yes.
the overall team level. But sprint wise, we know the capacity might change for various reasons. We can overwrite it when we go to the sprint capacity management screen.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
so this 30 will be a default standard, which we are assigning in the starting of the sprint.
Yes. For that team, like let's assume now we are starting with this team. We calculated and the capacity came as 30 story points. So we are assigning it. We can come back and do the updates or at any point of time. Right? So it's not
Just like
fixed.
a locker. Is it a lock that? Okay. The
Yes,
30,
yes.
more than 30, that sprint not allowed.
Yes, it will give a warning sort of thing, so
Okay.
that like it will. And the BPM team, I guess I
One
suggest.
question. This is just for one team, right?
Yes, for that one team. That's true.
Does
Okay.
the capacity refer to the velocity?
Yes, this is a default initial setting. So as we start calculating velocity, we can override it for each sprint. I will show that as well. We are in team configure. For example, this team has 35. I'm just giving some just to showcase like 35, 25, and 30, just to showcase the difference of the teams coming up. Right now, I'm going back to the timeline view. And let me go to sprint capacity management. Okay. Let me start assigning the stories to the sprint. I'm just doing some things. And we don't have a multi-edit or bulk edit right now. That's one thing which I found it. So Wangi, this is an update to you. We don't have a bulk edit within advanced roadmaps.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And I'm just doing some random assignment just for the time being. And I will give some story points. Don't worry about the story points. I'm just giving some 8, 8, 13 just to showcase the sprint capacity. That's it. Nothing. These won't be the real time things, but just to showcase the exceeding the sprint capacity, how it comes up. I'm just assigning it. That's it. Okay. And only 3. Sprint 1 and 8. If you observe something, all the changes we did, there is a orange triangle towards the corner. And what does it mean? Whatever the changes we did for the sprint or the story, or we can even do the team assignment as well. That is, this is BAM. So I will assign to BAM team. All the updates we are doing will be reflecting with that orange triangle on the corner. We will discuss in a minute what does that orange triangle means. So the advanced roadmaps is like a sandbox. It is like a play zone for us to do the updates, to do the discussions, to do the updates, to do the changes, anything before going into the actual what do you say, the actual Jira or actual sprint planning or actual release planning, anything. Right. So now I updated it. The moment I updated, those issues went under the BAM team. Let me expand BAM team. You can see, and let's take a look at what is this arrows coming up here. Okay, so just a minute. Issue source to you is sprint. Okay, let me go back to the teams. I missed one small point. BAM team. I'm going issue source right now. As you can see, it is coming as none. We need to configure it. Or the team setting, the issue source. I'm setting the BAM board. I mean, with the sprint or the issues from where it is coming up. The same way, let me do for BPM and BRM team as well. So each team, what we created here within advanced roadmap, we are mapping that with the actual issue source, the board. Now we will go back to the timeline view and we will take a look at the sprint started coming up on the top. And the BAM sprint 1 is showing in red. The sprint 2, sprint 3 is there. Let me hide the priority. As you can see, the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, and we'll have sprint 4, sprint 5, everything started coming up. These are the sprints which we created in the BAM Jira board, which started coming up here. And the BAM sprint 2, I just clicked on it. It is showing 13 by 30 points allocated and 43% full. And it is showing the split as well. What is the split? How much is in the what type of it and everything. Here I can come and overwrite. Right. So let's suppose sprint 2 we have only 27, for example. Yes. Now it won't be 30, it will be 27. Right. So sprint 3 is 30, sprint 1 is 30. Now why sprint 1 is showing in red? The capacity is 30, but the current assignment is 50. Right. So let's suppose I'm the profile management team. I created some dependencies or I tagged some issues to your account management team. Without even talking to your team, I can take a look at it. The accounts management team is over capacity, which means obviously we know that our dependency, they might not be able to handle, they might not be able to cater within the sprint 1. So what is it we need to do? Either we need to ask them to reassign their issue something, if it is our issue is a high priority, or we need to plan, maybe can we wait until sprint 2 or maybe subsequent sprint. So that is what this view within the sprint capacity management is coming up. This is how the product owners or maybe the scrum masters or maybe the program managers or even RT, anyone can take a look at how their team is coming up the sprint planning. And if in case we are going the safe approach, sprint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, all the sprints are coming up here in the one single view. The same way for the other teams as well, as we start assigning the teams and the sprint and the story points, their team boards as well will come up here like this. Any questions in the sprint capacity management? Good.
Yes.
Digesting.
Okay, so let's suppose like I'm the product owner of the profile management team or maybe rewards management team. For me to process any rewards, I need the savings account details, I need the credit card details, I need the wealth management details, I need the link of the savings account, I need the link of the credit cards, everything. So I created all my dependent stories onto accounts management team, and I mapped them onto sprint 1. So with that, what happened? Their sprint capacity got beyond their limit. Let's suppose you're the accounts management scrum master. Even without reaching out to you, even without talking to your team, I myself realized that, hey, this team is overloaded. So what shall we do? Even before reaching out to the team. I know by looking at this, I know that, hey, the team is overloaded. So what shall we do before even proactively reaching out to them? Right. So that way, it is sort of helping to give the sprint capacity management or the dependency management, even without reaching out to the other team. Right. Got some additional clarity or still? I know it is too much of information.
One way it is good. It is like a drone view. You are seeing from high level.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm just seeing at Scrum Master level. He will not have an immediate answer in hand if somebody above him is looking at this.
That's true. Yes.
Right.
Because like obviously we might have to check with the product owner or maybe the architect or the team, but yes, at least yes, even so this way now we are talking about multiple teams. Let's suppose I'm an RTE for the entire release train. I have to take a look at it, so I can, even without asking talking to each and every scrum master or the teams, I myself can take a look at how the overall team plans are coming up within my release and within my current PI. So I myself can proactively reach out to the teams or raise a risk or bring a issue or alert to the teams. Right. So that way, the plans is trying to help give the information to everyone who is taking a look at this view.
One question on this: when we are in safe environment, when you have this PI planned, so this particular view we are looking at one sprint now. In safe environment, you can see every single sprint which is in the already planned mode.
Yes, the sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, 4, 5. This is for one team, accounts management. Like that, we are yet to do the assignment of the other issues for other teams, right? Once we start doing that, like we have the profile management, we have the rewards management. So once we start assigning the issues to the sprint and the teams, their boards, their sprints, their boards also will come. So which means the entire release train, all the teams, all the sprints, everything will be able to view, take a look at it here itself in one single screen. Okay. Yeah, again, it is not just for the safe perspective, right? It can be used for any product or any implementation as well. Okay. Are you good?
Yes.
Wangi, how about you? You are good?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, one more thing before going into the dependencies, I want to show one thing: the review changes. Just now I mentioned, right? The orange triangles on the corner of all the updates we did within the advanced roadmaps. And why it is coming up? Because the advanced roadmaps is a sandbox. It is a play zone for us, whoever is accessing these advanced roadmaps, which means any changes we did in the advanced roadmaps these changes are only saved in your plan. To see these changes in Jira, you will need to save these in Jira first, which means we need to select all these and we need to do save selected changes in Jira. Until then, all the changes, whatever we did till now, is available or is existing only in the advanced roadmap. It is a additional layer created on top of Jira. It is not a real-time updates. Yes, if in case you want to do the updates real time, we need to manually come and do this save selected changes in Jira, which means if in case you don't want, you can skip, you can ignore that. Again, you go back, you can do discard the changes, or what are the changes you want to, only those changes will reflect in Jira, right? So now,
Yeah, that means we can park this and discuss with the team
exactly.
and then
Exactly. We know we are not pushing the changes directly onto the Jira, right? We are doing the discussions. We can go back to the team, or we can go back to our product owner or architect, who it is, whom we need to have a conversation with. We can discuss, hey, this is what the other teams are proposing, or this is what the changes we may have to take it up. Are we okay with that? Only then we can push those changes to Jira. Until then, this will be available within advanced roadmap. That's it.
Yeah. So that's why you mentioned. That's why you mentioned. I mean, this acts as like in a sandbox.
Yes, that's the reason it is a sandbox.
Got it.
So it won't reflect immediately.
Okay.
Other tools like Jira Align, the Candice, PAPlanning.io, or IOBA, or even now Miro also, I guess they started. All these tools are real-time updates. They do what are the changes you do will reflect immediately on Jira or Azure DevOps or any other tool. But this one, we need to manually, explicitly come and push the changes to Jira.
Okay.
One way it is good. Because like we observed multiple times, like we did few changes which is not supposed to. So we immediately reverted or canceled those changes. That way it helped from the actual implementation.
Yeah. This should be very helpful.
Yes.
Satish, if you discard these changes, then it will also revert from advanced roadmap?
Yes. We can do that. So everything will be gone. Again, it will be like a go back to square one. The sprints, the capacity, the story points, the assignments, everything we did, everything will be reverted back. I mean, whatever we select and do discard selected changes, it will be reverted back. But whatever we selected and we do save selected changes, that will be pushed to Jira and it will be permanent. No going back again.
Yeah, I have a question, Satish. If we save this advanced roadmap demo as option 1, which I'm doing planning, and tomorrow I wanted to show this to my RTE, assuming I'm in a SAP mode. So then after our discussion, we have figured out that we need to refine it further, and it became option 2. So
we have that flexibility. We will discuss on that. Let us finish this up. We have that flexibility as well within advanced roadmap. Option 1, option 2, option 3. That so flexibility as well is there.
All this will be saved as a draft versions until you push it to the real Jira.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yes. So that will come handy when we have the dependencies, or when we are discussing the release plan, or when you have the involvement of the third-party vendors, right? At times we might be coming up with some plan, but vendors have their own commitments or their own timelines, their own challenges. A lot of things might happen in the implementation, right? So then before committing the changes, we can create that option 1, 2, 3, and we can discuss with our stakeholders, and whatever is the finalized plan, that changes we can push it to Jira. Until then, it will be only in the advanced roadmap. So it is like, again, the sandbox play area. Create as many scenarios, as many options. See what works for you, what is relevant. Accordingly, we can push the changes to Jira.
So Venkat, any updates on these issues, right, from the Jira side? Will it sync with this sandbox?
Yes. From Jira, it will sync immediately.
So that is
But from
real time,
advanced,
right?
yes, that is real time. But from advanced roadmap to Jira, it will wait until we push the changes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm just saving all the changes just to show. The moment we read, it is taking time and it will complete everything and it will give the 100% completion. And we can even send the notifications to the required stakeholders if required. Good. Now that orange triangles are gone, right? Because those changes are updated back to Jira. So it won't create or it won't be coming up here anymore. Okay, good.
Satish, one question here: to whom the notification will be sent?
We have that option. Let me see. We can set that the notifications to the within the boards. We might have chosen the updates to the notifications, like the board owners or the issue, whoever is the issue assigned to, the notification will be sent to them that the changes happen to these specific issue.
I mean issue update events.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay. And
one more question, Venkat. So
yes,
any
Vignesh.
updates from this plan, right? In the audit log or the history of the ticket, respective ticket, any comment will be added, meaning that it is coming from the plan. This update is performed by the plans.
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah.
Let's quickly go to backlog. See, these we did the update, right? Let's open one update and we will take a look at it.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like nothing. It is just showing the user who did the change, but not explicitly that it is coming from advanced roadmap. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least it's showing who did the change.
Who did the change? Okay. Maybe the board, the plan owner, right? Whoever created the plan.
Yeah, whoever is doing right now, I'm the one who is accessing the plan. That's why it is showing my name.
Okay.
Right? So I might not be a user or I might not be a team member within this board, but because I'm the one who pushed the changes from advanced roadmap, that's why my name is showing up here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay, let's create some dependencies so that like we can try to see the dependency report and the dependency management. Two things we have, plus the option 1, option 2, option 3, just the Sripati, the point, what he asked, right? So we will take a look at these 3 things. So now let me go to this issue, BAM6, okay? Let me go to profile management. Let me try to create the thing within the advanced roadmap. Why to go there? Okay, now I'm coming to the dependency view. I mean, dependency management. Right now, nothing, no matching issues found. I am clearing that filter dependencies, issues with the dependencies. I will say all issues. So why it is coming as dependencies is like, the intention is like this dependency management is used for whenever we have any dependencies. Let's suppose we have 80 issues in our board right now, in our roadmap. No need to discuss about everything. We might be having dependency with 5 issues across the 3 teams. So we might have to discuss about only those 5 issues. Only those 5 issues will be displayed so that we can discuss which team or which sprint or what's a commitment and everything. Other things, each team will take up in their own sprint planning or their own release planning. That's the intention why the default filter is coming up as has issues, has dependencies. Let me come to the story level so that it will be easy. Now, here we have 2 things: incoming dependencies, outgoing dependencies. Incoming dependencies is like dependencies like the parent, outgoing dependencies like child. Now, creating a new credit card, for example, this has outgoing dependency where I will, it blocks maybe rewards, saying that cash rewards, right? I clicked on that. So this creating a new credit card will block the cash rewards for transaction between $51 to $100. That is one of the issue. And we can add more dependencies as well. Right? Let me add one more dependency. BRM. Right. I'm just creating some, right? So these are the 2 things coming up. I created it, and the incoming dependency, I want to create one that as well is blocked by, which means this creating a new credit card is blocked by what issue? Maybe profile management. I will go for a profile management. Creating a new customer, right? So first I need to have a customer. Only then we can create a credit card for that customer. Only when we have a credit card, that's when we can do some rewards for that. So that is how I'm just creating some dependencies, right? You got an idea? The issue, the dependencies which I created. So one incoming dependency, which is like is blocked by, and 2 outgoing dependencies, which is like blocking. It is, again, we can create multiple types blocks, or again we need to configure in the advanced roadmap what type of issues we want, what type of blocking or the dependencies we need to. Right now it is coming as blocked by and blocks. So I am reviewing the changes and I'm pushing it to Jira. This is how in the dependency management screen. Now I will go and I will select only the issues has dependencies. That's it. So as you can see, the issues started showcasing the dependencies. The other issues as well. I created only for create new credit card, incoming and outgoing, but the other issues, it is a 2-way, right? The dependency when we create, it is showcasing for the other 3 issues as well. And that is about the dependency management view. We can create, or we can take a look at it, how many incoming issues, how many outgoing issues we have dependencies, and how we want to plan, how we want to manage. So this helps a lot. Recently, what we observed is like for one of the issue, the team is not prioritizing that because they felt like it is easy for them to create, or it is easy for them to complete it maybe in the sprint 4, for example. But the moment we took a look at it, they have 5 outgoing dependencies, which means 3 different teams are getting blocked because of this team not prioritizing that specific issue until a specific point of time. So this gives a direct picture from the overall view, not just about one single project or one single team, right? Let's suppose I'm a program manager, I'm an RTE. So I don't want to go and take a look at each and every team, each and every board, each and every issue, how many issues have how many dependencies. Instead, just with one single view, out of 80 issues, now I got to know that these 4 issues have dependencies. So what are the teams required for that dependency management? Whom I need to involve, whom I need to coordinate with, or whom I need to bring them together to have the conversation. That is how this dependency management view will help to give a clear picture of the dependencies coming up.
Okay.
Yes.
When we are linked with these dependencies, then it is automatically linked with that issue. Because, for
Yes.
example, yeah, okay. In that case,
it is. It will reflect in Jira as well, right?
Yes.
It is, right? So now
automatically it will be linked to that particular story.
Yes, that's what happened, right? See, now we created a dependency in the create new credit card that it is blocked by BPM5. We can see BPM5 also came up here. It is showing that this has an outgoing dependency.
Okay.
Right, so it will actually link to that specific story, or we can even link to a task or a epic. It is up to us, whatever we want to link.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
This helps in the dependency management. If in case we are in the safe implementation, right? The dependency management, one way it helps by getting to know what all the teams, especially in the team records, what teams, what scrum masters or who product owners need to come together and discuss about their dependencies.
We can bring them
exactly.
into the picture, and then we can open the conversation between them.
Exactly. Yes.
Thank you.
Right. Are you good with the dependency management?
Yeah.
One question, Venkat.
Yes, Vignesh.
So in case, okay, so I have a user story which is blocked by another user story, and we are expecting the fix in so and so duration. Is there a possibility that we can define this in this dependency management, and we can flag that once we?
Yes, the due date, the start date, due date, everything we can tag. That way, I will show that as well. Like, let me. Thanks for bringing that. Let me create a new credit card, start date, end date. We will take a look at the dependencies report. Then we will come back and do the changes so that we will get some clarity on that, some more additional pointers.
Sure, Venkat. Yeah.
In fields, so can we add the blockers as well? Then what are the blockers we are identified?
Blockers in the sense, is it a field in your Jira, Raju?
Yeah. For example, that is a notice the workflow, right? Related to the workflow. Yeah, status of that issue. Because is there any blocker particularly? Then we can update that status as a blocker. That would be showcased in the dashboard as well. We can create the query and then we can put it in the dashboard itself.
Yeah, we can add the status and we can display that, and we can filter to display all the blocked issues. Yeah, here we have instead of all, we can choose which
based on our workflow we can set it.
We can set it.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. And the start dates, due dates as well helps to get some more clarity on the dependencies report. Sometimes we need some fixed mandate dates. Even though we are agile, we all know that like how it works in real time, right? So especially like
ATR, whatever the committed to the business, we can update
exactly
on that.
So that once we have that start date, due date map, that will reflect in the dependency report, and it will highlight as well. Are we on due or are we on risk or anything?
That is also come to the visibility.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me go to the dependencies report. Yes. Okay. This is the first. Now this is showing like a workflow, or maybe the what is it? Flow chart.
Yes.
This is the first issue to be resolved. Then the create new credit card. Then this. Yes, it is blocking. I mean, because
Blocked
that is
by
what the dependency we
story.
created. And
Yeah.
we can roll up to epic, or we can roll up to a team level, or we can group by epic, or we can group by project, and we can group by the sprint, or we can group by issue type. Let's suppose you want to take a look at only BRM5. Yes, only that hierarchy of issues, the dependencies will be displayed. Right. So this is again why it is required. Let's suppose again the dependencies example which I mentioned, right? For one of teams, we had 8 dependencies coming up. So the list is going like this, and it is coming very small on the screen to see. So either we can do a fit, or we can zoom in, zoom out, or we have an option to pick and choose which issue we want to explicitly focus. The other issues might get filtered, and we can take a look at that specific issue within the screen. And we can add dependency directly here as well. Okay. Yes, we can choose, we can block, and which issue. We can add the dependency from the dependencies report as well.
I have a question, Satish.
Yes.
Here, how to identify which is incoming and which is outgoing dependency?
So the way the arrows are showing, right? So first this needs to be done. Only then the create new credit card will be done. Only when create new credit card is done, these two will be done. So the way the arrow is showing, that is the incoming and outgoing.
So the parent is at the end.
No, yeah, parent is the left. This
Okay.
one. First, this needs to be started. Only so, which means, let's suppose BPM 5 is blocked. Everything BAM 8, BRM 5, BRM 6, everything will be blocked. It won't be able to progress. Right? That's why the arrow, the flow, how it is showing.
Okay,
Is,
because I was thinking it should be other way around. First, you have to complete BRM 6.
No.
Then BRM 5, then it will ease out BRM 8, then finally BPM 5 will be cleared.
No. The way how it is, right? See, first we need to have a customer profile created.
Okay.
Only when we have a customer profile created, we can tag or we can create a credit card for that customer. Only when you have a customer credit card created, that's when we can do some rewards on that credit card when they do some transaction, right? So that's how the flow is coming from left to right.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Good. Let's go back. We can add some
within
more
this screen, is there any way that we can delink the dependencies with the mouse click? My ask is too much. I'm just thinking, is the it looks like a schema for me. Maybe
yes.
it.
See, we have it. Remove dependency. Just click on that arrow. It is showing it, and we can remove it. This is the first time I'm even exploring. Thanks for that. We can remove, or we can add additional dependency for it, or we can add a new dependency entirely altogether. And yes, right. And as soon as we do some changes, again, here we still have review changes coming up. Right now, no changes, so that's why it is still doing it. And we can share the dependency report as well directly. Share the dependency report to Confluence page. Yes, any stakeholders you are discussing, or any release plan, or any dependency plan in management, we can share this. You can add it into a Confluence page along with other pointers. You can discuss this as well. Okay.
Yeah, there is in your drop down when you selected those 3 dots, it is showing us timeline view. That takes to the initial screen.
Yes,
this
timeline view. This timeline view. Yes, it will go to that. Or if we do the filter by issue, or we can choose that filter issue here. Any of it is same. When we do that locate in timeline view, it will go back to that timeline view.
Okay.
And it is highlighting that issue. That this is the issue.
And here on the on your right side, if you drag it to the week wise or month wise, how are these plotted in that particular timeline view?
Yes.
These stories, how are they overlapped or how are they arranged?
Yes. It is maybe
On a
let
single
me say month. That way it might be easy. I will minimize this. Yeah. It is the other issues are not coming up. The reason we assigned only BAM 8 to the sprint. The other issues are not yet assigned to any sprint. That's the reason only the start date and the due date is coming only for this BAM 8. And that's the reason only the timeline view is showing only for this. How it is showing is because of the sprint timelines. That specific issue is assigned to.
So if my understanding is like this, if BRM6 number 4 is in sprint number later sprints, maybe sprint number 4. So this timeline view will have the block, a brick falling somewhere else.
Yes, it will show that. We can do that in just a couple of minutes. Before that, any questions? Anyone?
Yeah, Venkat, I do have.
Yes.
Do we have any possibility to optimize the performance? Like which issue should we take? Like kind of like critical path analysis with the help of advanced roadmap?
Yes, we can do that as well. And we have an option of auto schedule based on the estimates and based upon the maybe the timelines. If we fix, if we define some issues like let's suppose like now create cash rewards for transaction. Let's suppose if you say we need to get it done by September 28th, for example, right? I'm just doing that, and see it is showcasing it like this. And it is showing in red color. Let me go back to the dependencies report. Okay. Why it is not showcasing here? It should be okay, because we haven't did the changes. Maybe that's the reason. But what's happening is like, see here the BM8. Let me give another date. It might highlight it then. September 28th. I'll change September 19th, for example. No, still because the changes are not yet pushed. Let me do that. Oh, okay. Looks like some issue. I need to check on that. But otherwise, this should be highlighted in red. The reason we have this create new credit card end date by 9/27, but this should be done by 9/19, which is like not possible at all, right? So this will be highlighted. This will be showcased in a blocking in a red color status. That's so ideally it should be coming up. I need to cross check why it is not coming up. And the view is coming up like this. See, the initial issue is here, but then the parent or the child issue is coming up here, and this is what is showcasing here. Does that answer your question, Sonu?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Okay. And Wangi, how about you? Are we good? Any points or any questions you want to ask, or you want me to discuss?
No, sir. So far, so good.
Okay. Thank you. And what else? Yes, we thought of discussing the options. I mean, the scenarios. I am going to plan settings. And here we have the two advanced options. We will discuss one by one. Before going there, the scheduling, here we have the options, how to choose the estimates, days, hours, or story points. Yes, I mean, if required, we can estimate in days, hours, but we all know most of us or all of us might be doing the story point estimates, right? The inferred dates, whether you want to use the sprint date or release date, when the issues are not having any start or end date, that's what happened with the issue. As it is tagged to a sprint, it is taking the sprint date as a start date and end date. And the dependencies, whether it has to be sequential or concurrent. Sequential means dependencies must be scheduled one after the other, but it should be the dependent issues can be scheduled at the same time. So whether you want to have a sequential dependencies or concurrent dependencies, we can choose it. And this will be applied when we do the auto scheduler as well. We can just give a try about auto scheduler, but we need to have some more changes to be done. But let's take a look at the scenarios first. And yes, scenarios is the point what Sripati asked a while ago. How specific changes across different scenarios can affect your plan. You can then save to Jira the most realistic scenario for your team. So like multiple scenarios, multiple possibilities. What if issue 1 goes into sprint 1? What if issue 2 need to go into sprint 3? Or what if we swap the teams, or we swap the stories, or what if any changes, anything? We all know how the sprint planning, how the release scope changes might happen any point of time. So for this, we need to enable scenarios. We need to do it explicitly. So yes, what is that? How the first scenario, we can give a title and we can do a color coding as well. Right now I'm doing as initial scenario. I'm creating it. Right, and we can create other scenario here itself. I'm creating it. Alternate one. I'm just giving some name and create from whether you want to do a blank or whether you want to copy existing scenario. I want to copy the existing initial scenario. Create. So I have 2 different scenarios. Let's take a look at what is the 2 different scenarios. I'm going back to the plan. And here we can see the initial scenario and the alternative scenario. So now let me go back to the sprint capacity management, because we know the sprint 1 of one of the team is beyond their capacity. Right? This is the initial scenario. So now we know that 20 story points need to be reassigned or reallocated to some other some other sprint. Excuse me. Instead of doing the changes now in the same scenario, I will go for alternate scenario, alternative 1. And here I will try to have the negotiation. Okay, so now that what is the 20 story points you want to tweak, or what is the 20 story points you want to adjust within the from the sprint 1. So here we have the sprint 1, 13 and 8. Let's assume the new add-on account. I don't want it right now. I might want to wait for, I'm okay until sprint 2. So let me map it to sprint 2. Or maybe I might even want to wait until sprint 3. I'm okay. Right? And then link a salary account to an existing profile. That's fine. Maybe let's wait until sprint 2, if not sprint 3. I'm assuming I had the discussion and I got the approval for the changes. So now the review changes is only on the alternative scenario, right? I am going back to initial scenario. As you can now, let's see the sprint 1, 29 story points, sprint 2, 21 story points, sprint 3, 13 story points. This is in the alternative scenario. Let me swap to the initial scenario. Initial scenario will still show the previous sprint commitments, 50, 13 and 0, right? And the review changes is not coming up here because the changes whatever we did is in the alternative scenario. So now, yes, go back to your stakeholders and have a discussion. Hey, boss, this is the initial scenario. As per the current plan, the sprint 1 is overloaded. So we had a discussion within our team and this is our proposal. How do you want to take it further? This is our proposal. Like these 2 stories can be map or can be swapped to the alternative sprints? How do we go ahead with that? Then that team might be, or that team or that program is doing, okay, have you checked the dependencies for those two user stories which you're trying to swap? Let's quickly switch to dependencies view and see. So I'm just trying to bring a end-to-end scenario, end-to-end discussion perspective, right? So how it might happen from the real-time implementation or usage of the sprint capacity or the dependencies or any other things from the advanced roadmap perspective. Good. You got an idea about the scenarios?
No, yes, sir. We got.
Yes.
So that way we can even do another scenario. We can add third, fourth, fifth. It is up to us. And anytime if you feel we don't need it, come back and simply delete. That's it. No need to even worry about it. And it is just the same view. I mean, the same roadmap. We are just trying to create multiple scenarios. And this will be definitely helpful for the release planning or maybe the dependency planning as well. Whenever we have the multiple teams coming together and when we need to take sometimes we know that more than our issues, the dependent teams, we might have to honor or we might have to accept their dependencies based upon the criticality of the release commitments, everything. So in that case, we can say, hey, this is our initial scenario, which we planned, maybe as part of PI planning or as part of pre-PI planning. But now that as we got to know the dependencies, this is the alternative we are proposing. So which one shall we go ahead? Product owner or maybe the stakeholder? What do you think? Which one looks realistic from the commitments perspective? Which one is looking from the release management perspective? Whatever it is, take a decision. We can simply come back and we can delete or we can keep it. That is fine. We can create more scenarios as required and we can go back and play around. And the reason again, because this is a sandbox and within the advanced roadmaps, the scenarios is again sandbox. So whatever the changes we did within the scenario will remain within that scenario itself. It won't impact the other scenarios. So have multiple scenarios created, propose it to your stakeholders and see this is what it happens if we do the scope changes. This is what it happens if we realign the stories within the sprints. This is what might happen. So now these are the 3-4 scenarios. Which one shall we take it? Which one we want to go ahead further?
Okay. So Satish, the dependency report also will be now scenario based, right?
Let's take a look at it. Yes, everything will be because we are on the scenario wise. Now I will go to the dependency management. Yes, it is in the initial scenario itself, right?
And even the dependency report will be
dependency
based
report
on
also
the scenario.
will be yes, everything will be because now the timelines are getting changed, the sprints are getting changed because of that sprint changes. These also might get changed, right? So let's go to alternative and take a look at it. Alternative, I don't think we mapped any scenarios, I mean, any issues with sprints. If we do that, we will get a clarity. Let's do that quickly. Which issue is that? BM 11 and 13. Okay. So let's add. Any other questions? Are we good? No, BM 11, I'm adding an outgoing dependency in the alternative scenario. Is blocking maybe complete KYC. Because of the add-on account, I might want to complete a KYC for that. Yeah, complete a KYC for the maybe add-on customer. That will be coming up in the dependency report. As you can see, this came up as a separate thing. Let me filter that. So only these two are linked. These two are related. The other things are gone. Right. So now Let's go to initial scenario and take a look at it. It is BAM 11 and 29, right? No. See, that dependencies is also within the scenarios.
So,
Okay.
Satish,
Mhm.
on the timelines, right? When we
Mm.
have that capacity and everything.
Mm.
So once the sprint is being completed, will it shows that whether we have exceeded our capacity?
The completed sprints it will show, because right now we don't have any, but the completed sprint as we go that, right? Let me try to capture a screenshot and share it across the way how it is showing, right? The planning and allocated, and it will show the in progress and done and everything. And right now, okay, yeah, that is one UI issue. It won't show other thing, everything on the clear, right? But it will show the total, the done, the current progress and everything, and it will still show how much is completed part. See, right now it is showing as future sprint, right? Because the completed sprints it will show that. I will try to see if I can get a screenshot and I will share it across.
Sure.
Okay. Yes. Are we good? Any questions? Any things?
I just want to see if all the teams, BAM, BPM, all the teams are selected in the same timeline view. How the sprints are visible?
Sure.
Are they overlapped or superimposed, or they are like again segregated separately?
Sure. Let me do that quickly. BPM, BPM sprint 1, sprint 2, and let me give some story points as well. That way it will show. So we can do the updates of the story points, I mean, the estimates and everything, and we can push it from here itself, right? So now there is other issues, BRM, okay? BRM. Sprint 1. Any other questions before we go ahead? Or while I am working on it?
Yeah, not related to this, but when we create the story and then description, we can write it right as and I want to, and then what, so that can we create the templates directly? Because when we add the description, then only the description will come on the empty when we create the story. At that time, automatically, can we create that description also automatically will be appear like that as
the automation, within the automation we should be having that option. We
Mhm.
can do that. We can discuss on that, Raju.
Satish, whatever changes we have made in advanced roadmap, now it will be reflected in our normal boards of Jira as well, project boards. So how it will reflect? Can you just have a look into that?
Sure. It will reflect as the way. Why is the team not coming up?
I'm more interested towards looking at the dependencies point of view, how dependencies are looking in the normal boards as well.
Sure. We can do that. Dependencies will be typically coming up the way how a typical dependency comes up is blocked by our blocks. We can take a look at that. Is there issues? PM. So this is one small challenge or one small limitation. We don't have a bulk edit option. within advanced roadmaps. So they might have given it intentionally. Now, let me expand the screen so that it will be easy. Okay, I'm minimizing unassigned. So this is how the BAM team issues, BPM team issues, and the sprints, and the BRM team issues and the sprints will be coming up. And I created all the sprints with the same start date and end date. That's the reason all the sprints are having the dates in the overlap. I mean, in the same timelines.
Yeah.
Right. So it will be grouped by the teams. That's a default view coming up. We can change that as well. But typically, this is how it will be easy. It will be better if we can take a look at the group by the team wise. So that like the sprint for at least, especially in the sprint capacity management, this is how the view will be coming up.
Thanks, Satish.
Okay. What if we click the checkbox and do it? Which checkbox, Vicky? I haven't got it.
Yeah, the left-hand side of the checkbox.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do simultaneously changes. Click other two things.
Bulk captions.
Oh, bulk edit.
Enabled
Okay.
now.
Okay. Let me try. Thanks. Wongi will be more happy than me.
For sure.
It's okay. BM 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Bulk actions. Yes. Update. Yes. Only this is the point you're looking for, right? The sprint or assignee or estimate team. Yes. And we can even remove them from plan, or we can bulk change in Jira. All these things we can do that. Okay, good. We can do a sprint change, BM, sprint 3. Okay, apply. Cool. Thanks for that. Again, we can do estimate V3 and the team. We can do team as well.
So the checkbox can work.
Yes. Thanks. That's what I mentioned, right? I am learning, I'm exploring, and thanks for that. It is helping it. Yes. Now again, until we do the changes, push the changes to 0, it will be still with that changes.
Satish, can you show me once again where is the checkbox from where we can do the bulk edit?
Sure. Let me go back to the unassigned. Yeah. In the initial, we have this, right? Let me clear that. Okay. Yeah. Here we have this before the number, right? We have the checkbox. Like yes, like this. And the moment we select it, here we are getting the bulk actions.
Okay, if we select more than one, it will come, right? Yeah.
Yes. Even if we select one, looks like, right? See, one issue selected, but it is coming as bulk actions.
Okay.
So yes, one or more, we can do that bulk edit. Wangi, that helps you, right? For the bulk edits issue scenario we are looking for. Okay, good. See, the session helped us.
Thanks.
Yes. Okay. Yes. What else? What else you want to discuss?
For example, if we have the velocity and we have 6 sprints, for example, one sprint is about 30 story points. 6 sprint is like 180 story points is what we have. Can we give some data at the release level and see how we are performing sprint by sprint?
No, unfortunately, no. Not that option is not there. Yes, because this is only from the planning perspective, not from the execution perspective.
Okay.
So this is all majorly used for the planning and before planning, but not the actual execution or the towards the completion. So that option or the functionality is not there here right now within the advanced roadmaps.
Oh,
but the Atlassian Analytics, there is again another tool within Atlassian. The recently released, I guess, in the month of April or May, they have some reports coming up. It is not so user friendly, but yes, that again we are exploring that as well. That will help to give some insights of how much of velocity is there, or how many team members are. It is again having different metrics, not exactly from the execution perspective, but it will help give some more clarity or insights from the actual execution perspective. Yes.
oh,
That is it.
thank you. Thank you.
Again, Atlassian Analytics is available for, I'm not sure for premium, but enterprise customers, it is available right now.
It will be under which tab generally?
No, it is not under tab. You need to check with your Jira admin to get the access activated, because the same thing happened with me as well. I am not aware until my Jira admin reached out to me and told that, Satish, do you want to explore Atlassian Analytics? I was like, what is that? So that's when he shared me the link. It will be a separate URL altogether, not in the tab.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Okay, and one thing we haven't explored, the auto schedule. Let's try that. Before do that, let me do the changes so that we will get some information about the estimates. Auto schedule works in 2 ways, if I'm not wrong. One thing is like based upon the dates. If you have given any dates for any of the issues, based upon that, it will estimate the other issues, the upstream and downstream dependencies. If not, it will take the story point estimates and it will try to do the auto schedule. Let's try and take a look at how it comes up. Yes, see, it is asking which estimated values you want to auto schedule, whether you want to use a sprint or the releases or the teams. We can use, or we can override the empty values. We can overwrite it, and yes, let's preview the results. Again, it is preview only. It is trying to auto schedule. We'll see how it comes up. It did 19 auto schedule. Did auto schedule of 19 issues, and whatever is in this stripes, that's what the issue which is auto scheduled. Again, we can accept the changes or we can cancel it. So wherever we see that stripes, that's what the thing, the tool did the auto schedule. Okay, this so it comes up in the unassigned things. It haven't touched, only the assigned issues. It did the updates. Okay.
What exactly is auto schedule does actually?
Auto schedule is like it will try to the tool will check the dependencies. The tool will check the dates if you have provided any fixed dates like the due date or the start date or anything, and it will try to check the estimates and the sprint capacities and everything. Accordingly, it will try to see. Let's suppose the issue is not having any dependency. It might try to see which sprint it might fit based upon the sprint capacity or based upon the dependencies, based upon the estimates we provided. Right. So that's the reason the issues where the story estimates are not there, it haven't did any estimate. So only if we have any dependencies created, right? So based on the dependencies, the tool will try to do the adjustment of the sprints, adjustment of the capacities across the sprints and everything.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we can do it on our own, but otherwise you can just take a look at how the tool is giving the estimates or the plan. Accordingly, we can try to maybe accept or cancel it. Again, it is trying to play around and see how the issues are coming up. Sometimes now we might realize, hey, we need to do the draft account in only 4th sprint. We can't do it in 2nd sprint. We know that, we realized it. So then let's cancel it and we can do a manual update accordingly.
And this auto scheduling related to scenario. So it works for that scenario or?
Yes. Again, it is for the scenarios only. Yeah, what are the scenarios we are? Only for that scenarios that will be coming up.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So now that in the alternate scenario, we created some more dependencies and some more sprints, some more estimates. So then there, if we do the auto schedule, it might try to reassign accordingly based upon the new dependencies, based upon the new estimates, or based upon the new issues. So all this, the tool will try to take the information and it is trying to do the mapping of the sprint. So now we thought we doing it, the tool will do the auto assignment of the sprint or the team based upon the story points and the dependencies which we have already input to the tool. If nothing is there, the tool won't do anything. Okay, so even if we accept the changes, it is saying you will still need to review and save all the changes in your plan to Jira. So it is like whether we are okay with that or not. First, we need to accept changes here. Then again, we need to review changes before pushing it to the Jira. So that is what the thing coming up. So that's how the advanced roadmaps works at the high level. Good.
Yes.
Definitely good. Before advanced roadmap, how was the working scenario? How were the Scrum Masters or RTs were working on this?
There are different tools. I mean, from the safe perspective, there are different tools like our organization, we used Candice, like that we have PIplanning.io, IOBaya, Jira Align, like the different tools. So even keeping the safe scenario aside, this might be even for, let's suppose these 3 teams need to work together, might not be safe. Just a generic from a project perspective. Even then, we can make use of this advanced roadmap. So yeah, before that, how the typical teams used to do, they used to create a Confluence page, they used to create a table with the dependencies or the sprints and everything. They used to tag or they used to link the issues or the features there. That's what they used to use. The Confluence is one of the option. Now, because we have this advanced roadmaps, we can try to make use of this option.
Yeah, it is a big time saver actually.
Exactly. Especially when we are talking about like multiple teams, multiple dependencies, and the release plannings and everything, right? So it will more than Scrum Masters, it might be helpful for the maybe the product owners, the stakeholders, or the RTs, or the program managers, or even the architects, or anyone. That way, it will help them to get overall clarity of how the overall release or overall product is going up. The planning perspective again. It's not the execution perspective for whatever reasons, at least from the planning perspective, it will help us give a clarity on it.
Yeah, exactly. It is giving the holistic view of entire sprints.
That's true. Yes.
Right. Thanks a lot, Satish.
Yeah. One small thing before wrapping up, releases, we haven't discussed it. Let me quickly take a couple of minutes to discuss on it. Releases, if we created any releases or maybe the fixed version within the Jira, whatever the terminology we call, right? So we can create that project specific release. We can create a cross project release as well. What's the difference? The project specific release, we all know each project will have their own release where the issues within that project will be tagged with the timelines, with the scope and everything. We can release directly from there, or we can do the updates, close the release and everything. The cross project release will be only within the advanced roadmap. It won't push anything to the Jira, even if we create a cross project release. So what we can do is like we can create a cross-project release. We need to choose a release from the existing projects, and it will show, let's suppose we have 3 projects and 3 releases. It will show how many issues from the overall project, or the progress, and what's the start date and release date, and how the overall product. Let's suppose the banking example for now we are planning to do a release in the month of October. So each project have their own version or their own release created. But now from the overall product level perspective, if you want to take a look at it, I can create a cross project release, and I can take a look at the overall release, the progress, how it is coming up. Only thing is, this cross project will be remaining only within advanced roadmap. It won't get pushed to Jira project, individual projects. Okay. Good. Any questions?
Satish, just can you navigate to the normal Jira board for checking the status account?
Yes. Thanks for reminding me. So we will go to the backlog. And yes, so this is a initially we haven't did any any issues to any of the sprints, but as you can see now, these issues we did the sprint assignment, we did the story point estimates, everything from advanced roadmaps. This is how it is coming up. And there is one thing, the dependencies, right? So now I'm going to this create new customer profile. Let me open it, BPM5. Yeah, see the linked issues. This is how it is coming up. The create new credit card block. BPM5 blocks BAM8. That is how it is coming up in the typical the Jira project issue level. Now, if I have to take a look at it, here it is showing the issue, the priority, the assignee, and the status or the progress of it. Now, if I go to BM8, it will show that BM8 level dependencies, right? So like that, if I am the Scrum Master, if I am the product owner, if I am the team member, I might have to navigate. Oh, in the previous BPM5, I got only 1 dependency. Now BM8, I got 3. Now, if we go to BRM 6 and 5, we don't know how many more dependencies are there. So now you got a difference how by taking a look at in the dependency management within advanced roadmaps versus taking a look at each issue level at each project, how the simple direct single view we can take a look at all the dependencies across the projects or across the boards.
Yeah. Very roadmap is very clear on that part.
That helps for the dependencies and the release planning. If not at least the sprint, the dependencies and the release planning, it helps a lot. That's
yes,
for sure.
It is useful, very useful. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Any more questions? Wangi, how are we doing?
Satish, I have one question. This Atlassian Analytics, we have to ask separate credentials or separate details for the Jira admin, or who will provide the access for this?
You are Jira admin. It will be the same access, but they need to activate it. The same goes to the advanced roadmaps as well. The Jira admin need to explicitly activate the access. Only then we will get the access. Otherwise, we might not be. So you might not be even aware that we have that access. So the same thing happened with me. I got the access within my enterprise that the plans. So I started playing around the plans and everything, learning, and I did a couple of sessions within my organization as well, and advanced roadmaps. Everyone started reaching out, Satish, I'm not seeing the view, I'm not seeing the plans. What is it? Because they don't have the access activated to the plans, advanced roadmaps. So the Jira admin has a ability to enable or activate the access. So You need to go and check with your Jira admin. So you might not even see this plans option itself in your menu.
Yes, correct. It is not there.
It won't be there. So you need to go and check, hey, do we have the advanced roadmaps access? If so, can you activate it for me? So that like you can start exploring around within your organization context.
Yes, after Teams, I have apps and the create only. That's it.
Yes,
in between,
yes. The plans will not be there. Plans won't be there.
Yeah, plans are not there. Correct. So it is by default for all the Jira or any the latest versions of Jira's only this one plans?
No, this is available for premium subscription and enterprise subscription.
Premium and enterprise. Okay.
Yes. So we need to, what do you say? We need to ask the access, and accordingly we can go for it. Yes. And yeah, if in case any of you joined late, I can quickly join and give some feedback. That way it helps to just okay. Let me meet everyone.
Can you please reshare the link for this slide?
Yes, I shared it. So, and I will upload the recording to YouTube tomorrow, most probably, and I will share the link so that like you can go through it and you can, if required, you can share with your friends or your network as well.
Sure. Definitely.
Satish, we discuss. Can we see that story creation description related one?
Some other time?
Sure. Definitely.
Just remind me. We can discuss on that.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Satish.
Sure.
Fantastic session, Satish. Many thanks.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thanks, Satish.
Thank you so much, Satish. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Wangi, to you.
No worries. Thank you for taking the time to show us. Appreciate it.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Satish. Thank you so much.
Thank you.